Hi, this is Phil and Trish from SkiTalk.com, and we have another cage match comparison for you for the 2023 season. Cage match comparison is when we compare two skis that commonly get compared when you walk into a shop. We've got the all-new Fischer Ranger 90, the reimagined Völkl Kenja 88, and also the Kendo 88. So we got a bit of a unisex comparison. So I'm going to let Trish start off, since she spent the lion's share of the time on this new Ranger 90 and the Kenja.
Well, Phil, it's kind of interesting because these skis have a lot of similarities, as you can imagine, but they also have a few differences. The turn radius of the two skis between the Fischer and the Kenja is very marginal. This is touted as a 16 meter, and this is somewhere in the 15 with that 3D radius that they have with the Volkl Kenja and Kendo 88s. First of all, I want to say that this is the meat and potatoes of the category. For most women, if you want a little bit of a wide-ish all-mountain ski, this is the place on the wall that you're going to go. Guys might be more in the 95 to 100, but this is meat and potatoes for most women out there looking for that wide-ish ski. So you might walk into the shop and you want to talk, so let's talk. The Kenja is a little bit quicker, a little bit more snappy and responsive when it comes to making that turn that you want to in the moment. The Fischer Ranger is a similar radius at 16. However, it wants to be a little bit more playful. It's a ski that has a little bit of a dampness quality to it when it's getting into that playful genre that you have. The tailored Tittenall construction in the Kenja makes it responsive to just about anybody in any size very similarly. And the interesting thing is that they have created a little bit of a change in the metal construction of the Ranger series this year that give it a little bit of that same kind of tenacity, so it doesn't really get hung up. So if you're a specific size, you can get into that turn and come around. But the Ranger series definitely a little bit more on the big mountain side, and the Kenja is a little bit more on the all mountain side, I would say.
No, I agree with you, and you brought up a good point that the guys might gravitate to more that 95 to 100 range, and that's where I'll actually prefer a little bit of the Ranger 96 and the Mantra M6, which are both in that range here. And those two skis are a little bit close, but we have a little bit more differentiation here on the men's side because we tend to be a little bit stronger and bigger. Sure. No offense, ladies. But on the men's side, looking at the Kendo 88, and if we take a look at the Ranger 90, this is where, again, we've got two different sizes here. Let's just assume that they're both the same sizes. You mentioned the 3D side cut, the 3D radius, which Völkl does here, and they scale that construction for the size skier. And also Fischer does something very similar in scaling the construction and the shape of the Ranger in those skis. On the men's side, if we do this comparison, this one is definitely a little more on the finesse side of that scale, and we definitely have a little more power here.
I definitely feel that.
Yeah, and that's where we get the differentiation. And you say, as far as off-piste, on-piste bias, and I would say this one here in this range is maybe a little more 60-40 on-piste bias in this 88 to 90 millimeter range, and the Fischer is probably a little more 60-40 biased off-piste in that range.
Absolutely, that's pretty much what I felt when I knew that we were going to be going to someplace like Big Sky or Mammoth. If you knew you were going to get a little bit of fresh snow, then maybe go toward this bias a little bit because you know you're going to be dabbling off piste
or in the trees.
It's going to be a little dry, but you're still not quite sure what you're going to have for conditions. The Kenja 88 might be the way to go.
Yeah, and again, we're not saying one is better than the other. We're just talking about the differentiation between these two skis and which one might be better for you. And that's really up for you to decide in this cage match comparison.
And, you know, when it comes down to it, no matter where you're skiing
is fun. To read the full review of this ski, please go to SkiTalk.com and click on the review tab.
Please also hit the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel to see more reviews and other ski-related content. And add thoughts in the comment section below.
Of course, follow SkiTalk.com on all of our social media channels. No bindings were recalibrated during the production of this video.